16th century Florence, artists and scientists were to be found at the Medici court. Grand Duke Francesco I had gathered together all the most advanced research in alchemy and the applied sciences in the so-called Medici Casino in Via Larga. If the Grand Duke was in search of perfection in the spiritual properties of herbs, the Dominican friars of Santa Maria Novella had been devoting their research to the physical properties of plants since the early 13th century. Inside the ancient pharmacy, the products of the perfume pharmaceutical workshop, which the Grand Duke honored with the name of His Royal Highness's factory, are still on sale. The cupboards, decorated with 18th century carving, hold the ancient Florentine bottles, jugs, and thermometers used by the Dominican friars.
In 1221, the Dominican friars, after arriving from Spain, began building their friary just outside the city walls. 1612 is an important date. This was when the friars started their business activities, selling their mostly medicinal and ephemeral products to the general public. They called their pharmacy the Santa Maria Novella Perfume Pharmaceutical Workshop, mentioning perfume first. This shows how much demand there was at the time for the ephemeral. Caterina de' Medici had married the French king, Henri de Valois, a century before, and had been a major testimonial for Santa Maria Novella. She's said to have taken a perfume she commissioned from the friars called Acqua della Regina with her to France. This was the first alcohol-based eau de cologne.
In the room giving onto the garden where medicinal herbs and Seville oranges for perfumed essences once grew, Tommaso Valori has a place of honor. It was he who revitalized the pharmacy's activities after the Dominican order had been suppressed in Napoleon's time. This room housed the ancient pharmaceutical workshop, which may well have resembled the one depicted in Francesco I's studiolo in Palazzo Vecchio. The gilded urns and glazed terracotta pharmacy jugs contained precious Eastern resins and woods such as myrrh, amber, and perfumed oils. In 1848, the impressive retail outlet for products for which there was now worldwide demand opened in the former chapel of St. Nicholas. The two elegant wooden allegorical statues flanking the counter enhance even further the Art Nouveau fittings. The 19th century Gothic-style cupboards hold bottles from the same period with essences and colored extracts.
There's no doubt that some very special products came out of here. One of them, perhaps the oldest, was the anti-hysteria water, now known as Acqua di Santa Maria Novella. We still grow the Balsamite suaveolens herb. The product is a combination of the oil from this distilled herb and distilled water. It was widely used to calm people down in the 19th century and is still on sale in pharmacies.
nelle farmacie, segue quindi
It is marketed differently from our other products.
l'acqua di rose,
Rose water is very old and is still distilled from rose petals. Then we have orange blossom water, still made following the traditional formulas. It's still very popular with our customers.
il chiostro di Santa Novella.
The vestry, with its frescoes attributed to Mariotto di Nardo, held the distilled waters, and for this reason was known as the water room. The corridor was added in the 19th century to make a new entrance from Via della Scala, which nowadays leads us into the pharmacy's fragrant atmosphere.
Nella Santa Novella, nei vecchi
We are going to set up a small museum in the old workshops which had been in use for centuries before the move to Via Reginaldo Giuliani.
piccolo museo, ma testimonianza
Evidence will be on display of what had been going on here. So we'll have old machinery, labels, bottles, old perfumes, molds, in short, everything necessary for our production process in the past.
passato per l'elaborazione.
From the old soap-making machines to the mill for grinding Irish root powder and the press for vegetable extracts. In the rooms of the ancient distillery and the inner cloister, the pharmacy's various herbal teas will be available for tasting.